presented by Google Pixel. It's the 9th season. Lexi Hull, Monique Billings, and this game is underway as your anniversary game out in LA.
Here we go.
He's lobbing it in. Howard, the deep catch. Good recovery there from Indiana defensively. Here is Hillman. Hillman body and spinning, can't finish, gets it back, puts it in, and the foul as Hillman went right through Lexi Hull.
Great job by Naz Hillman to recognize that she had Hull's rebounding team in the W.
And Hillman completes the three-point play. They are #1 in offensive rebound. Feeling like that had to be a strength this year for Atlanta, and it has been. Here's Boston. Finds Mitchell off a great Clark screen, and Mitchell lays it in.
Really well executed play to understand screen and back cut baseline instead. Wide open Kelsey Mitchell.
Mitchell has been so efficient against Atlanta this year as Hillman starts it off with the first 6 for the Dream.
Last 2 seasons, she's made it a point of emphasis to get better, and now we've seen her score inside and out.
Here's Mitchell, circling, dishing, Boston, she got it. That is part of the game now for a
less than 1 3-point attempt a season ago. This year at 2.5, shooting over 40% from 3.
And she's 1 3 away from matching her career total prior to this year as Reese gets called for the travel. For Boston, her first 3 seasons, she had 17 to
possession. You saw Indiana sending a second defender to Angel Reese when she got the ball in the block.
A beautiful dish from Clark, and Billings is fouled, and Mo Billings is going to shoot a pair. He was talking to us about before the game, was feeling like they have to be a better
1 or 2 dribbles too late. That one was neither 1 nor 2 dribbles too late. That was right on the money.
And a 7-6 Indiana lead. Here's Hillman, has all 6 Dream points. Here's Gray. Got hooked from behind by Mitchell, took her to the turf. And an early personal on Kelsey Mitchell. Now, Alicia Gray last year, first, then off.
Smesco was talked about Gray being an even more improved defender this season as well.
Hillman again! Naz Hillman with the first 9. Clark thought about pulling, will dish instead. Here's Hull shoveling in the corner. Billings hits from 3. That feels kind of to have Billings willing to take that shot, never mind make it.
Changes their spacing. She came into this game 3 of 12 from 3.
Howard buries, and it feels like a repeat of the other night with both out. Here's Clark. Clark sidestepping 3 is good. Right over Reese from way down. Now Gray can answer. Reese on the offensive glass got hooked. Angel Reese, a historically great offensive rebounder, draws the foul there.
Both of these teams wanting to play with pace, and of course for Indiana, when the ball is
4th in the league in scoring, 2nd in the league in assists, trailing only Alyssa Thomas. Here's Howard, got tripped by Hull, and a foul called on Indiana.
The previous 2 possessions for Atlanta have been great examples of Ryan Howard and her growth. 2 possessions ago, she took a couple dribbles, then made the right pass. Very good decision maker offensively this season.
And Coach Smesco was talking to us about that earlier today. Said she had a conversation with Carl about where she needed to improve most. She said her efficiency. As Clark tried to thread the needle, could not, but it'll stay here. And he said, all right, let's get to work on your efficiency then.
Also, when the defense is loading up on her, she's willing to pass.
Clark takes the 3 on the drive, able to lay it in. Gorgeous take from Caitlin Clark.
Nasty hesitation dribble on that drive.
Ray beats the defense down the floor for 2. Clark with 5 points in the early going and gets fouled there by Canada. And then Caitlin and Angel with a little something to say to each other in the act after the gather. Clark, catch, fire, you bet! Caitlin Clark, hot points in the first 3.5 minutes.
Last possession, Ryan Howard lost the shoe as she was trying to get out to Clark.
Here's Angel Reese bodying into the soft touch. Reese coming off a huge game on Thursday. Indiana, meanwhile, 6 of 6 from the floor. Good cut from Billings, who lays it in on a gorgeous delivery from Boston.
Atlanta double-teamed Aaliyah Boston on that possession. They did the other night, and she read it beautifully. Billings cut, Boston found her.
Here's Gray. Gray surging into the paint. The foul is good. Looked like Gray got fouled initially by Clark, but no call, and Gray puts home the putback. Ooh. Canada just gave a forearm to Kelsey Mitchell, and that is going to be the second foul on Jordan Canada. Players averaging a double-double. Clark launches and connects. She's on a first-quarter burner. 3 of 3 from downtown in this game, wearing her signature shoe. Here's Hillman. Barging inside, couldn't get it to go. Reese keeps it alive. Another chance for Atlanta. And Hillman lays it in. That's again because of the activity of Reese on the offensive glass.
Got into the offensive glass and gotten those extra opportunities as a result.
Clark has to switch on Reese. Launches it and hits. But it was a timeout on the floor thanks to the foul before the launch. Been great, but she's been getting better and better, and he feels like there's still so much room for her to grow. Said she has loved being here in Atlanta, and how competitive she is has been great for the group as well. Canada bodies in. Good D that time from Clark.
Last possession was Indiana's first turnover. Points Atlanta had off Indiana turnovers last game.
Here's Boston. Indiana yet to miss in this game. Boston turns it over there. Here's Canada. Weaving, dishing. Howard connects.
And this is where Atlanta thrives, when they can turn you over, when they can get steals, push pace going the other direction.
Clark launching again. Missed that one. Her first miss of the day. And there they go off the rebound. Hillman has 13. Atlanta jumps back in front in what has been an electrifying opening quarter here at State Farm Arena. Mitchell, the catch, couldn't finish it on the delivery from Boston up the floor. Reese turning on the burner, spinning, couldn't finish it. Finds Allen there for the contest. Here comes Mitchell. Mitchell dashing into the paint, got hugged. Ooh, and then it looked like Mitchell gave something to Howard afterwards. So they call a defensive foul on Howard, but now they're going to take a look at the contact from Mitchell afterwards, as it looked like she... Here's Boston. Boston on the drive, an assertive take. Lays it in with the left hand.
Boston is assessing what was happening on the... Realized she had that lane to take it herself.
8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for Boston. Reese, great dig there from Johnson, timed it perfectly.
Raven Johnson read that. She saw that Reese was rolling to the basket, that Boston was on the high.
Action. Good look from Reese. Now Gray connects. Alicia Gray, 9 points. It's 4 of 6 from the floor. She's continued to build off of a career season last year, averaging a career high 19.5 points per game this season. Here's Mitchell, finds Boston. Boston left alone, can't finish, keeps it alive, but an over the back. Billings, and it's Billings' third. I don't think it was a foul on either of them.
Yeah.
Indiana does not challenge. Howard can't finish. Johnson quickly up the floor. Mitchell wheels back. Will fire. Can't hit. Cunningham, the offensive rebound. Here comes Gray, finds Reese. Reese unable to finish. Billings has it taken away by Hillman again. Twice in the span of 20 seconds. Naz Hillman just snatching it away from Indiana.
Atlanta is simply relentless on the help side defense. That's where you have to get it started, and if you have any nerves, get rid of them by playing well and solid defensively.
Boston hands it off. Mitchell, the hesitation, and pops it in. She gets downhill with that left hand. Indiana shooting 74% from the floor. Here's Hillman. Hillman has 13. Gray across her body, back ironing off. Cunningham secures the rebound. Mitchell off the handoff, gets fouled by Howard, and now Clark will check back into the game after that electrifying opening quarter. Hit 3 straight threes and add 13 points in the frame. One other good thing we saw with Clark was she played the entire first.
Build that longer runway as well.
That's right. Oh, Mitchell, dynamic step back. Here's Howard left alone, will take. Can't hit. Clark flies in for the rebound. Clark lobbing it in, and a foul called on Howard, as Ryan Howard will pick up her third. So that is a key foul for Atlanta to monitor, and now Carl Semesco, you would think.
Unlucky.
So she departs. Mitchell gives it up. Hines Allen bodying into Reese, gets fouled by Reese. And that'll be number 2 on Angel Reese.
Angel Reese typically very good with the post.
Great job fronting Clark. Here's Mitchell. Oh my. You bet. Kelsey Mitchell with the ankle breaker. And Clark gets called for her. 11-point. Indiana lead. Pow. No. Reese, yes. And the foul. Angel Reese with a chance for 3, and that'll be number 2 on Boston. For it, as Reese completes the 3-point play. Shooting 71%. Clark fires, can't hit. Long rebound, Orlays. Gray dishes, Hillman, not that time. Another offensive rebound for Atlanta. Clark gets called for the foul, and that's going to be number 2 on Caitlin Clark. She got into foul trouble last meeting. Well, Clark has to be foul trouble really thwarted her last game. Reese can't finish over Clark. Here's Clark. Has it taken away, trying to get it back, and a jump ball is called.
Good hands by Jordan now for Atlanta.
Canada wins the jump over Clark. Howard, what a Euro! Draws the foul against Hull, and Ryan Howard will go to the line. That's going to be number 2 on Hull. Maybe a touch on the body on the drive, but no doubt.
Sad.
As Howard, when there's been some touch things called that it's contact, but it's marginal enough you probably can let it go.
Yeah.
Hines Allen looking for Hull on the handoff. Off to Clark. Clark looking in. Gets it to Hines Allen. Creeping down. Hines Allen can't finish it. For late. The 21-year-old on the move will lay it in. Plus the foul. And a chance for 3 as Hines Allen is whistled for the personal.
This game has been fast.
As we have it statistically, in the 26 minutes that Indiana has played with Sophie Cunningham at the full.
Better spacing on the floor.
Clark drives in, reverses it home, plus the foul. And a chance for 3 for CC. Points, 6 of 8 shooting for Clark.
Boston wearing a mask now.
One thing Clark has done is miss some free throws lately. Playing with 2 fouls. Howard buries the 3. Howard back out there, just a lot of key players in foul trouble. Clark separates. Looking to take Borlays, dribbled it off. Borlays' foot out of bounds. It'll stay in that opening frame.
Just finding my spots. They've been helping out me a little bit, so I've been able to get open threes and then just being more attacking it.
You've been absolutely relentless, you and your team on the offensive glass. What is your mentality when a shot goes up?
We just have to get in there. Sometimes other teams go in there and they don't grab the ball with two hands, so having the opportunity to go in there and snatch it from them. Just being aggressive. I think sometimes teams don't box out, so you go in there and you take your opportunities, and then if not, you get back.
Incredibly competitive game between you and the Fever. How would you just describe the matchup between these two teams, especially after the three-game series you all had in the... We loved watching Naz really blossomed here as her career has gone on in Atlanta. Mitchell connects on the three from Kelsey Mitchell, and the Fever have stabilized things after the 11-2 Atlanta run. The layup is good from Reese, plus the foul. And that'll be number 2 on Mitchell.
Jordan Canada handled that switch beautifully because Aaliyah Boston came over, walled up.
On deficiencies of her game, I think the incredible strengths and highlights her strengths, and it's been a good fit, especially over the last couple of weeks. As Boston can't quite finish.
The best rebounder on... The best rebounder defensively and offensively in the history of the WNBA.
Clark finds Boston at it, poked from behind. Our home and native land. Canada on the deflect. 12 second chance points. They have dominated the offensive glass. Third meeting of the season between these teams. Here's Clark, snaking it into Boston. And
on that side of the floor in the first half, he said ABC defense is what he's challenging them to do, more help and making sure that everyone's communicating on the perimeter to continue to defend the three.
All right, thank you very much, Angel. Slide it in. Billings draws 2. Mitchell, a good look from 3. That one won't go. And the rebound by Canada. Gray with a lot of space. Can't hit. Clark draws Hillman, backs away, shakes, drives, and lays it in. Boy, her hesitation.
Did that switch really, really well.
Stephanie White was emphasizing that to us before the game, how good Caitlin's been getting to the rim this year and wants even more of it from her. As Billings gets called for the foul, and that will be her. Stephanie White, Caitlin Clark.
Ryan Rucco eating Manuka.
Clark off to Boston, gets it back. Hands it back to Boston. Mitchell using the screen. And they're going to call that on Boston, and that will be her 4th. So now you got real issues if you are successfully thus far. Boston goes to the bench. How will the Fever handle these minutes without Boston? Here's Gray fading, can't hit. And that's going to be an offensive foul, a loose ball foul on Angel Reese.
Phenomenal box out by Maisha Hines-Allen. I mean, that's what you can push a lot of different players in the league under the rim.
Clark separates, step back, and buries it. 8 of 10 from the... She has 19. Howard gets fouled. That'll be on Hull, and that will be...
Positioning.
Howard hits the first. Atlanta 108-101 win. A high-scoring game here today. Anniversary game, New York and LA. The Liberty and the Sparks. Billings gives it up. Flags it down. Clark coming back to it. Circling, dishing, Hines-Allen hitting on the jumper. Good productive offensively. And finishes.
Hillman kind of sneaked behind. See her open in the lane.
Clark wiggling, harassed by Canada. The player, not the country. Couldn't grab it. Just a little too far out in front of her from Hines-Allen. Reese in transition, lays it in. battling for the rebound, and it's going to stay right here as Hull's effort helps force the foul against Atlanta. Much run today after she was great the other day. Hines Allen did not take that three. Shot clock fading now. Clark gets some space, rips it out, and Mitchell.
Correct. She is capable. I understand that she wasn't feeling comfortable in that moment, but she has to feel comfortable in that moment.
Well, you talked about it before. Billings and Hines Allen have to shoot some of those for Indiana. Reese lays it in. Atlanta. Watch it on ESPN and Disney Plus and stream it live on the ESPN app. Can't wait to hear that sit down that you had with.
Just 20 straight minutes of what's your voice doing? What's going on there? Just nothing but ribbing from my 4 children for 20 minutes after that 20-second clip.
Canada dumps it into Reese. Shot clock at 3. Reese gets denied by Timpson emphatically. And a shot clock by. Here's Clark, gets fouled by Canada. By the way, for Clark, 5 assists already. That's 55 consecutive games that she has had at least 5 assists. Mitchell into the paint. Gets denied. Here's Gray. Gray meets Hines Allen and finishes. The lead is as they have really taken advantage of Boston on the bench in foul trouble. Clark back to Hines Allen. Hines Allen contested long too. There's no reason to take that with that much shot clock left. Gray all the way in. Can't finish. Reese, a 1,000th career rebound. The fastest in WNBA plateau. That last hits Atlanta and will stay here, but Indiana out of sorts here in this third. And Boston back in with 4 fouls, but Stephanie White could not afford to keep her on the bench any longer. Reese rims out on a 3. And Caitlin Clark just lost the basketball out of her hands. A lead. They've totally dominated this third. Foul. Hillman lost the handle. It squirms out to Howard. Howard gets a clean look from 3. A fortuitous hop, and Howard, Atlanta run. Here's Clark into Boston. Boston got hit, no call. Gets it back. Can't lay it in, but gets the whistle. And free throws here for Aaliyah Boston.
Coming down the floor, Aaliyah Boston.
Version of Indiana going small. Boston at the 5. Mitchell, Johnson, and Clark.
Response again to Atlanta going small as well.
Here's Pau. Into the corner, Gray. No. Rebound Boston. Flings it ahead as it knocked away. That's 5 turnovers in this quarter for Clark. Borlase can't finish it. Raven Johnson, a terrific job on the glass to knock it away.
And Aaliyah Boston to not get a foul. She continued to retreat on that drive.
Clark doesn't take the 3, instead drives it, dishes. Boston has it knocked away. Atlanta creating all kinds of turnovers in this quarter. And now a jump ball. Indiana has turned it over 8 times in the third.
Just the relentlessness from Atlanta, especially in this quarter. The active hands, they've been physical.
Howard able to control it off the tip. Atlanta with a 6-point lead, 2:30 to go in the third. Howard turns the corner, can't scoop it in. Boston the rebound. Here comes Clark. Clark getting downhill in a blur will lay it in. 21 points for Caitlin Clark.
We'll see if Aaliyah Boston with that foul trouble. She's been outstanding, not allowing it.
Pau again. Tahina Pau is 3 of 3 from 3. 7-point Atlanta lead. She's just such an accurate 3-point shooter. Boston putting it on the deck, lays it in, plus the foul. But they will call the foul half. They hold Indy to a season low for a third quarter, 15 points after Indy had scored a season high for a half, 59 in the first half, and a season high for a first quarter. Gray got bumped, and the foul called on Johnson. Gray will go to the line.
Teresa Weatherspoon's in the Hall of Fame. She played in that first game.
Yep.
Atlanta was able to do in that third quarter. It goes significantly with Jordan Canada making a defensive assignment for that series, and she's been able to really set the tone defensively for this team.
And it's been an effort by the whole team. You just felt their intensity on the defensive end ramp.
Huge part of what Atlanta does. Damiris Duntis, who hasn't been a fixture in the rotation, getting minutes here for Indiana. Boston and Billings have been in foul trouble. Pow, can't hit. Rebound again, Reese a factor, and then a foul going to keep things here as Reese hit
Their shoot-around working on sending two bodies.
Howard buries the three, and Atlanta has opened it up to 13.
To box out Angel Reese. I mean, that's the kind of attention she is going to get because of her relentlessness on the board.
And she pokes it away from Mitchell. Borlays, Howard. No.
Fourth quarter and tied after being down 8. We'll see if they have a run in them here.
Canada 8 points, 10 assists, no turnovers. Canada, the two-time champ, flings it up, can't finish. Duntis secures the rebound at the moment. Lobs it in, Cunningham gets called for the offensive foul. Yeah, she was jockeying with Pow. It's 24 personal fouls called against Indiana in this one, 18. Indy with just 9 points over the last 9 minutes. Gray gets free. It is all dream here at State Farm. A 16-point lead for Atlanta. Excellent dream team to watch. 90-74. Atlanta is pulled in front with a huge second half. Clark curling around. Canada knocks us defensively on Clark in the second half. Clark gets some space, doesn't take. Johnson will, and hit from 3.
Regan Johnson has looked really comfortable on both ends of the floor.
Atlanta's outscored Indiana 34-18 in the second half after Indiana put up 59 in the first half. Reese with 16 and 8. Gray can't answer. John busting it up the floor. Working behind Duntis. Cunningham with space. She'll let it fly. No. Duntis the board, the putback and the foul. And now Indiana fired up saying, let's go. 31 minutes. Clark is at 30 and has not sat in the second half with 5 fouls. Canada, 8 points, 11 assists, no turnovers. Reese working Duntis, and a whistle against Duntis. And free throws here for Angel Reese. She's sure.
Maybe.
All right, first I'm going to do a promo. Tonight on CBS, Chicago, Dallas at 8. Tomorrow, the 30th anniversary game. New York and LA at 8. For more on these games, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Clark on the drive, bodies in, leans, doesn't get the whistle or the make. Here comes Howard, 12-point game. Clark jogging back. Clark trying to front Reese, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Reese. I was just going to ask you about these two teams and where they may...
Multi-time all-star who can do a lot of things for them. I think the question when you look at the Indiana Fever...
Clark gets blocked by Gray. It'll stay right here. What a defensive play by Gray. With the rejection. Gray lines it up. You bet! Cunningham gets a clean look. Can't knock it down. And a foul called will stay here as Reese. She's had 5 this year. She has not fouled out in a game as Duntis.
But they're going to need more production out of that spot.
Clark On the drive into the paint, separates and spins it in. 25 points for Caitlin Clark. That roster deficiency has hindered Indiana at times this year, just not having a four who can space. Here's Gray. Dribbled it off her foot. Canada fades away and drops it in. Jordan Canada. Assist.
She's gotten really good at using that spin and fade over taller defenders.
Austin knocks in a three. She's taking it up. Gray has 16. Muscles in and finishes. So good. Howard, Canada, and Gray. Boston directing traffic. And they're going to call defensive 3 seconds. Caitlin Clark with the second free throw attempt today for Clark, who knocks it in. Off to Mitchell, gets fouled by Howard. That'll be the 4th team foul on Atlanta and the 5th on Ryan Howard. Chris gave Indiana good minutes in the 4th quarter on Thursday. Clark on the move, dives in and missed the lay. 11 of 18 from the floor for Clark. Howard cups it home. Will they count the bucket? This was her first shot attempt of the day. Hillman bangs in. We're going to get it out. Clark does, plus the foul. And that's the dagger. 18 and counters to the bench. For the first time this half, I think her day is likely done. Got off to such an electrifying start. Indiana's offense was in incredible rhythm. But Atlanta's defense this second half has been the difference. Canada, why not? Timeout. Johnson. Off to Duncan. Can't hit the three. Indiana hit 9 in the first half, just 3 here in the second half. What you like about Atlanta, too, projecting ahead as a contender to the playoff.
Because we're going to be all over the offensive glass. They have nice
start off the bench. She was telling us before the game how much she loved. Want to remind everybody, special presentation of WNBA basketball tomorrow night on ESPN. We will have the 30th anniversary game in the Liberty. 8 Eastern tip for that. Our first Women's Sports Sunday franchise. We're really excited. Following week in that time slot, we'll have the Liberty and the Valkyrie.
I mean, exactly 29 years ago tomorrow.
For Atlanta, they've scored at least 103 straight games. And a foul here. Canada, 12 points, 12 assists, and 7. And became the fastest player to 1,000 rebounds. Hines Allen comes away with it. Here's Raven. Raven Johnson with a nice take and serves it in. 9 points. That game has already started on ESPN2. That three won't go. Okot, the rebound.
It's just a culture of offensive rebounding here in Atlanta. It doesn't matter who's in the game.
Incredible. Kone gives it up. And that's good as well. India Navarre into the game and promptly buries a three. .113 points for Atlanta, and they can now We could have dribbled it out, didn't secure it. Cunningham gets hit. It's in this game. Cunningham, Cabal will dribble it out. A historic performance for the Atlanta Dream, a franchise record 113 points, and they take down the Fever 113-96, the final. For the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, Angel Gray, I'm Ryan Rucco. Thanks for watching. So long from Atlanta. We'll send you to